Hey everyone, it's Jamie. Welcome back to my channel. Same queen, new look. So last night I had recorded this video with the intention to upload it today, but I lost the audio and the footage was really long and bad. And then rather than recording it last night, I decided to bleach and dye my hair. So instead you're gonna get this new mess of a look. I definitely think I need to do another layer of just the hair dye. So I dyed my hair while it was wet, which I had read online from a bunch of different hairstylists saying that that was okay. It definitely, I don't think it stuck as well as it, because I don't know. Either way, I've wanted to be a redhead for a very long time. In high school and in college, I was dyeing my hair red on top of my naturally dark hair. And yeah, I was getting like kind of like an auburny red, but it definitely wasn't like ginger. So here we are, quarantine 2020. I decided there's a good chance I probably won't see a lot of the people in my life other than my coworkers for at least 6 months. So I'm like, hey, if it looks bad, well, it's not like they're gonna know. Anyways, what I want to do today is I want to look at the new Sims trailer, break it down a bit, and then talk about some tweets and posts relating to this content. However, before we do get into this, I do want to put a little disclaimer. I'm personally actually really excited for this pack. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't, and I actually do agree with some of the criticism, and I do understand why some people are upset. However, I'm personally excited for it. For those who don't know, I'm actually very invested in going green, green spaces, being more eco-friendly. So automatically this was just already kind of up my own alley, kind of things I'm interested in, my own activism and personal life. However, I do understand some people don't want to deal with pollution in The Sims 4, but just saying I'm excited for it. And before someone accuses me of being paid by EA doesn't know I exist. I have 200 followers. I'm a nobody. This is just my own personal opinion. The pack just looks like something I personally would play, but I understand if it's not up your specific alley. Anyways, let's jump in and check out this trailer. Docile. Sorry, there's like a child screaming outside my window. Anyways, let's check this out. So I have the sound off. Not that I care about getting a copyright strike, because it's not like I make money off of these videos, but I don't want the video to get taken down. So, already off to the beginning, we have this kind of derelict, disgusting looking town.
Nasty and you need juice.
We got smog, but we also have these very pretty tree lines. This waterfall. We also have this building, which we'll see a few times in the trailer. So I'm wondering if this is a building we can go to. I don't know if it's like some kind of community center, some kind of new public or community lot, or if this is just a home. But I don't know about you, but like just from this, I'm getting like Twin Peaks vibes. So I'm wondering if this is supposed to take place in like Washington or Oregon, some kind of like northwest corner. But yeah, we got our Sims coughing because apparently the air quality is really bad. Like the sky, disgusting.
I am disgusted.
But we do have some nice new clothing. I do like the sweater. It looks like it's damaged, but I do like it. And this new shirt, nice. This new hair color looks new. Yeah, trash everywhere. This boardwalk, well, I'm assuming it's like ocean water, some kind of ocean bay into it. But yeah, this hairstyle, that's nice. Oh, also, is that a gauge? We'll talk a little bit what kind of jewelry I think once we get a better look, but it looks like we're getting gauges, some kind of ring, brow ring, I forgot what it's called for a second, and a septum. So in university we got studs. Now I said we're getting rings. For those who don't, oh my god, none of you would know this. I used to have a nose ring. It was right here. We're getting this kind of new like this looks like it'll just be a part of town. It's full of trash. I'm hoping one of these lots on the side here are a place you can live, even if it's like 1 or 2, because I would really like to live by this area. Hopefully like cleaner, like in my gameplay I'd probably clean it up, but I like seeing, like, it's interesting. I like this passageway. Once again, looking at some new clothes it looked like we're getting. This, to me, I'm hoping this is a new death. I think every expansion pack needs to come with a new death. And I'm hoping this is like death by, I don't know, bugs, locusts, whatever you want to call it. So it looks like we're getting... Oh, let's see if we can see that person again. No. Go back just once. Oh, come on. All right. Oh my God. I'm so bad at rewinding. So it looks like we're getting dumpster diving, which that will be fun. I don't know. I like the idea of having your Sims able to go dumpster diving, and I love this. This to me, if I wasn't sure if I wanted this pack enough, this is enough for me to want it. I love this. This is so funny to me, this like paper bag. If you don't think I'm gonna have a family just with paper bags on their faces, you are wrong. But I love this new hairstyle, this new jacket. This hat, I'm pretty sure this is base game, but this whole look to me is like that friend you had in college who learned about like Marxism and Che Guevara and like was all like, I'm a Marxist now. Like, this is like very much that vibe. Not making fun of that vibe. I'm like very much like borderline into that community. So like no shade, but that's like the vibe I'm getting. Like, not to make fun of that. All right, so we're getting a bunch of new build and mode items we can see here. It looks like this is some kind of new recycled, refurbished walling. We have walls very similar to this, so I think these are new though, because these look a lot cleaner than the ones we had before, which I like, because we have ones from Strangerville that are dank, which I mean, and by dank I mean dirty. I don't mean like the good kind of dank. I don't know if there's a bad kind of dank. In my mind, I've always been like, dank is good or bad, depending how you use it. That could be because I'm from New England and like we have words like wicked, which like you say things like, oh, that's wicked. And like within the context of the conversation, you can figure out if that's like good or bad. Sorry, New England's an awful place. I'm kidding. I love it here. But outsiders are like, what? But we're getting this new kind of building stuff that's like, it looks very refurbished, clean. That I'm very excited for. Also, it looks like we have a chain link fence here, and I really want that in the game. I know we have like kind of like chain link fences. They're like the prison ones, but I don't want the prison ones. I want like an actual chain link fence. I lived in Dorchester for about a year or so, and like everyone had chain link fences, and like to me like it feels very homey now because I lived there and that was the place I called my home. So I'm like, oh, I want a neighborhood with chain link fences. It'll just make me feel like I'm at home. Okay, so in here it looks like we're getting this new machine. This turns trash into some kind of reusable item. Down for it, you know, good for the environment. Everything here kind of looks like things you have in the game. But really, what really sticks out to me here, though, is boom. A little bit later in the trailer, you see someone actually riding one of these. So it looks like we're getting some kind of new bicycle. I think this is like probably electrical motorcycle kind of thing. I'm down for it. But yeah, just watch it. Just turns that trash into something else. All right, here's another thing I'm really excited for: the candle making. Ooh, do you want to play? All right. And what I like here is you're gonna see is that the candles melt down, which I think gives you a purpose to really do the candle making skill, and actually like work up your skill if it's gonna be a skill. I hope it's a skill and not like one of those hobbies that you can just do. And like you can maybe make some intricate designs. Here we have this nasty ass lot. Dirty. Once again, Twin Peaks vibes. Am I the only one getting those? Do people watch Twin Peaks still? Fun fact, I've never finished Twin Peaks. I'm still on season 1. Once again, looking like we're getting some new hairstyles. I'm into that. Some new clothing. And this looks like this is some kind of skill or activity where you and the townies and the NPCs come together and will like discuss and vote on what you want to do with this community space. And watch it transform over time here. Love it. So this is one of the other gameplay features that to me is really selling this pack, because in island living, the cleaning up of the island was so much on you and your personal, like you have to do it. It's all on you. And as nice as that was, and like as fun as it is to know that like if you pick up trash, like look how nice the coral reefs get. That's not really how it works in real life. It's saving the planet is a very everyone has to do it. You can't really just rely on a few people. And another part that I think really emphasized it here was the idea that like community voting and like the community coming together and deciding that they want it is what really makes it happen. So, you know, make sure to vote in your local elections. Make sure to vote for green legislation, not to like get all preachy, but anyways, once again, loving the new outfits we're looking like we're getting, and also we're getting some new planters. Like all of these items look very new. Loving it, loving it, loving it. So this is a lot of people thought this was were chicks. I'm not going to comment on that. And then I personally, though, I was dumb and I thought it was a compost box. But upon actually looking at more, it's a bug hotel. For those who don't know what a bug hotel is, it's a place where bugs, mostly pollinators, will live. Humans build them, and it's made mostly for different types of pollinators so that they can live there and help pollinate the area. And it looks like here there's like some kind of skill where you can interact it and build up your relationship with it, similar to the bees box. I do really like this idea because, you know, pollinators are very important. It looks like they might be expanding it beyond pollinators. I can't really tell just from like looking at it, but it looks like it's definitely going to be for the better of the garden, very similar to the bees. In this case, I know some people on Twitter were mad that it's pretty much a reskin of that item. For me, this makes more sense as a bug hotel, because bug hotels actually kind of look like this. And it made me realize how much the bee box does not look actually like a bee box. So if anything, EA should just fix the bee box. But no, I'm not too mad with it pretty much being a reskin of that, because like they serve very similar purposes. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I'm fine with certain reusing of certain animations and reskinning certain items if it makes sense. There's a few times in this game that I've been like, really? Like, that's just lazy. And like I said, in this case, if anything, it just made me realize how much the bee box needs reworking visually. Also, look at all these new plants it looks like we're getting. Loving it. Alright, once again, there you can see the gauge, and once again, we're getting rings and not studs. I'm wondering if this will be in a base game update or if it's just gonna be for this pack. It's one of the things I'm not 100% sure what's going on. I was a little surprised that the studs weren't put in the base game, or at least some variation of them. Interesting. But you know, we'll see what we get, but I do really like this because, like I said, I had a nose ring, and like the nose stud means nothing to me. Like, I'm like, I never had a stud. So I'm really liking the ring. You can finally make a proper like 2003 Amy Lee sim now, because she had a brow piercing. Apparently I'm a fake fan because Amy Lee used to have a stud piercing, not a ring. Cancel me, I'm so sorry. So here looks like we're getting to some kind of new science career. My guess in my last video and in this one, I'm going to state again, I think it's some kind of environmental science career. And you see here, the goal here is to create items and ways to clean up the environment. People were talking about how this is pretty much a reskin from both Strangerville and Get to Work. I would say that's one of the other ones where, like, right now I'm fine with it, but I did see it and go, you couldn't have come up with something else. But, you know, I'm not salty over it. It's just more kind of like, oh, okay, thanks, whatever. But like I said, for me, as long as the career is very fulfilling, I'm pretty happy with it. Now this, I'm pretty sure that whole thing is the sucking up of the air. I think that's a metaphor. I don't think that's how the gameplay is actually going to go. This is just the reveal trailer. The reveal trailer doesn't really give much insight on gameplay. It doesn't give too much insight on the actual mechanics. It's supposed to just show you some visual stuff to get you hyped for the gameplay trailer, and then the gameplay trailer gets you hyped for actually getting the pack. Here, however, like I said, I think that's a metaphor. I think it's going to be more as you clean up trash. And I think if this machine's anything, it's probably like a vacuum. Here we have a lot here with a bunch of new things that I want to talk about. So we have the grass roofs, we have the windmills, which in a post I'll talk about in a second. They talk about that the windmills and the solar panels will help reduce your bills, essentially, which makes sense. I know we have solar panels with Get Famous, but I don't think they actually work. And they're really ugly, and like, I don't know, they're just like not good. Once again, proving what Get Famous is just overly upsetting. We're getting ladders. I do think ladders are probably going to be one of those items that I will only use in certain instances. In certain homes, like tiny living homes will be nice. And I'm actually pretty happy we're getting it in this and not with tiny living. And the reason for that is, in a post or in a tweet I'll show you, they confirmed that we're going to get a ladder in the base game in an update before the game pack, not game pack, the expansion pack drops. Which that pretty much happens almost every time they do a new game or a new expansion pack, is they will do an update beforehand, and sometimes in the pack they will, or in that update, they'll give you things in a base game form of some items that come in the pack. For example, with Island Living, we got some swatches. We got our own lounge chair for like a poolside or beachside, with some interesting swatches. Like, it wasn't like the best item in the game. Like, the whole point definitely was that you were probably going to end up preferring and using the Island Living version, but if you weren't going to get Island Living, hey, you still can get the chair. As well as also we got a base game version of Stilted Foundations, and Island Living came with its own as well. Once again, being like, okay, so anyone who doesn't get Island Living, they can still get some of those things, because the Stilted Foundations you can use in other things. So it seems like with this, we're going to be getting this ladder, and then we'll be getting a ladder in the game. And I'm glad we got it now and not with Tiny Living like a lot of people wanted, because if we had, then it would have just been Tiny Living. Like, Tiny Living would not have had an update beforehand where you got the ladder. That's just the truth. If they had given us this in Tiny Living, then anyone who did not get Tiny Living would not get the ladder. That's just the truth. That's the facts. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's on you. But that's how this game has been going so far, especially with its updates. They don't give you big updates and give you things before a stuff pack. So I'm glad they're giving it to us now. Like I said, I saw people on Twitter complaining. They're like, we should have got ladders with Tiny Living. I'm like, no, because then anyone who did not want to buy Tiny Living would not have gotten ladders. Not to get like all like sassy, but I'm just like, people think like before every, it's just a fact that before every expansion pack, we generally get an update with nice things. I'll say before the update before Discover University, I'm pretty sure that was all just like gameplay mechanics and fixing bugs. Like there wasn't like any items dropped with that, if I remember correctly. But with Island Living, we got some nice things in a update. And then after Tiny Living, we actually got a pretty big update too. Anyways, hopefully we're getting some big updates soon. But yeah, we're getting so many great new items here. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. Oh, I liked that transition of seeing like this gross area turn all green and lush. There was a joke that Jessie from the channel Plumella made where she was calling it gentrification, the stuff, the expansion pack. And I'm really glad that in The Sims 4, like gentrification is like not an actual issue, that you can make the neighborhood nice and like you can keep like a starter home there for like a poor person or whatever. I guess like poverty doesn't also really exist in The Sims 4. Ooh, we're just gonna turn back 1 second. And if I could keep your eye there. See, you can ride the new bicycle thing. Looking at this new home, loving it. Then we have this like party thing, and you go up and we get the Northern Lights. Play to change, June 5th. I actually do really like that tagline. Play to change, because that does seem to be the big like game aspect here. Is in your gameplay you can change how the world works. Now, some thoughts. Like I said, I'm very excited. A lot of people are not. Just like going through the comments, some people are not happy. This is Island Living's conservation career on steroids. Like yes and no. That's all I'm gonna say. Then we have another thing. Play to change The Sims in The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle Expansion Pack. Make a difference and transform your Sims world. Welcome to Evergreen Harbor, the sustainable city of your dreams. Join your fellow collaborative makers and sustainable activists in The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle Expansion Pack, coming to PC, Mac, Xbox, and PlayStation 4 on June 5th. I do like this. This is the first time I think any Sims 4 pack has come out the same day for PC and Mac and for console. That's like never happened. So we have a better look at some clothing. I did see someone on Twitter talking about like these renderings look very different than their older ones, and they do. I don't know what's going on. Change the world in Evergreen Harbor. Every action you take and decision influences the state of the world around you. We already talked about this. Essentially, the cleaner Evergreen Harbor gets, the more nature will thrive and be better. You essentially, as the player, get to determine what's happening. Some people were complaining that they felt like this sounded like a storyline pack, like in Strangerville. The thing in Strangerville is the pack essentially is leading you to ultimately defeat the mother or befriend her. Here, however, it's pretty much up to you to do whatever you want in this world. You can leave it how it is, you can make it dirtier, you can make it cleaner. You essentially get to do what you want. And I like that idea. Upgrade your home. New updates in build/buy mode encourage going green too. For the first time, you can offset your bills with wind turbines, solar panels, and dew collectors. Reduce your eco footprint and invest in in a living rooftop with a splash of bright color. Once again, I love this idea, and talking about we're going to get some new furniture that are sustainably made and upcycled from someone else's junk. I love it. I think that's a really fun idea. Make it or break it. Speaking of reclaiming and repurposing things, why don't you check out a new job as a maker? As you go around town, keep an eye out for collectibles and materials for your next project. Once again, I like this because I think at this point, I never really play with collectibles in The Sims 4. And I think some people love it. They love building their collections. I'm just kind of like, collection, like the collectibles don't really mean anything to me. Like, some people like love it if you catch every fish or catch every gem. They're like, I love it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's fun. That's just not my own personal gameplay. So I like here that now there's a reason to be getting collectibles and that you can use them. Not just for the sake of having a basement full of like every type of fish, but rather to like make or build something. However, I do understand if some people don't like that. Use your voice. Unused community spaces are going to waste, literally as a dump. Rally your neighbors to decide how to use it. Get that maker space. You're going to need support. So essentially you go around. Every week you'll vote on a neighborhood community plan, and you'll transform this shared lot into, anything. You can do like it says here, a place to promote the arts, suggest weekly workouts, demand upcycling initiative, and explore other options. Pretty much you get to decide what the community space becomes, and I'm here for that. Whatever you do in Evergreen Harbor, just know that you're going to change the world. Ultimately, I do really like that idea. I know I've said this multiple times, but I'm very excited for this pack. So I'm just checking to see how long I've been recording. There are some tweets I do want to talk about quickly. These tweets I'll put up here on the screen, and they just relate to things that I think are affect us as gamers. Like I said, I have this one from Oliver, asking Sim Guru George, will the ladder come in a free base game update? Sim Guru George responds saying, ladders will be in the base game update coming at launch. Eco Lifestyle will come with an additional variant. Like I said, we've already had this before in other expansion packs, so I wasn't that shocked, but happy nonetheless. Here's another tweet that I think is super important, coming from Mary Blakely Johnson, asking, will pollution affect the other worlds as well? Sim Guru Frost, now going by Eco Guru Frost, responds, yes, during our live stream later this month, we will show off gameplay that affects the world of Evergreen and every other world except Destination Worlds and Strangerville. So the Destination Worlds are the one we got with Outdoor Adventure, which I forget what that's called, and then Salvadorado with Jungle Adventure. So those worlds, along with Strangerville, will not be affected by the impending climate change catastrophe, apparently, which I think they have enough going on. The world in Jungle Adventure, Salvador, has skeletons and snakes. That's a lot. And then Strangerville, just imagine if those like possessed monster people were now throwing like trash at you. Like, I'd be here for that kind of chaos, but that might be a bit much. So the what you do in Evergreen Harbor, I guess, will now affect the other worlds, which I do like. I think that does help elevate this to a expansion pack level. I will say, when I first watched the trailer, I was like, I'm really excited for this, but I was like, is this an expansion pack though, like just like with the level of gameplay and the way it affects the game. For me personally, I generally, when it comes to expansion packs, I compare a lot of them to Get Together, in the sense that the group system, if you don't use the group system, I think you're missing out a lot. The group system transforms your gameplay in ways that you couldn't even imagine. The things you can do with it are crazy. And part of that is how much the game, it just changes how you play the game, really, which I think is very important. And I was really, when I was watching this trailer, I was like, yeah, this is super fun. But if this is really combined to one world, then the gameplay, it's not the same level. It's almost kind of like also like the calendar system from Seasons. Like the calendar system from Seasons and the group system from Get Together, to me, like change how you play the game. Especially if you mix them together, like game changing. So that now leads us to what I was thinking here, and I was like, okay, if this is just in the world of Evergreen Harbor, well, is that expansion pack worthy? Now, some people do not want all of their worlds affected. I have this tweet here from Haley Murray saying, Haley Murray saying, please, for the love of Plum Blob, tell me there's an option to turn that off. That being the climate catastrophe pending would not affect all worlds, just Evergreen. Canceling my pre-order if not. I don't want this touching my other worlds. They already have specific storylines I've spent years curating. Which, to that, all I say, Haley, is the real climate catastrophe that we are facing right now does not care about your personal family, my personal family, or anyone in general. It's gonna come no matter what, no matter how long we've been planning our real lives. So to that I say, I don't really care about this issue, but I do think this is something important to bring up, because not everyone wants this gameplay to affect their whole world. A lot of us do play The Sims as escapism, so I can understand this desire to be able to opt out of this in other places. For example, if Strangerville affected the whole world, I think a lot of people would have been mad. It's kind of like how the zombies in The Sims 3 were just everywhere always. You would just be like, oh, I'm just gonna bitterly bop down to the shop, and then you're like, oh, there's just a zombie hanging out. At least here in The Sims 4, I feel like we're finding a good balance where it makes sense for the global catastrophe, impending doom, to affect everyone. But on the other side, the flip side of that, I do understand that not everyone wants to have a chance to opt out of that. So Eco Guru Frost does say there is a game option that pauses eco footprint game effect from happening. Much like other pack specific game options, this is set per save. Also, please give love to Sim Guru Font. He's been verifying answers for me. So love to Sim Guru Font. Thank you. But this actually is really interesting. So if you don't know this, if you go into your settings and then go to game options, when you have the Sims game booted up, as of right now, I believe there's only two options there. There's one for seasons, where you can set how long the season is. You can opt out of certain types of weather. You can also, I think that's it. There's also like the plain game options where you can turn on whims and stuff and decide how long Sims live, like what their life expectancy is. You can also decide if empty homes will automatically get filled, as well as how many Sims are allowed in the game at once. Then under that, there's also under seasons, there's Get Famous, where you can opt out of Sims automatically entering the road to fame. Because essentially now, if your sim does anything that could remotely make them somewhat famous, they will automatically start on that road, whether or not you want them to. At this point, I usually keep that unchecked, so like my sims are always constantly like, you're on the road to fame. Like if they sing in public once, and I'm like, whatever, like it's not like they're gonna get famous. So, and so it seems like for our next one, we'll have one that says, you know, eco lifestyle, and in that one there'll probably be a box that will either be probably like affect all worlds, or maybe turn off automatic pollution of all worlds. Who knows what it'll be, but no matter what it is, there's a way to turn it off or on, or maybe even set it to your desirable level of trash. This comes out on June 5th, a little bit less than a month away. I'm personally excited. I'm excited to see the next trailer that comes out. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking of this pack. Are you excited for it? Do you like it? If you're not excited for it, let me know what you're not excited for. Let's try to keep it a little civil. I have seen in some places, you know, on Twitter and YouTube, you know, some people saying, hey, I like this pack, and being attacked for it. And then some people saying, hey, I don't like this pack, and being attacked for it. Let's not attack each other. Let's just kind of keep it peaceful. You know, state your opinion. If you don't agree with that person's opinion, make your own comment. Do not attack them, please. Just simply say, I like this pack because of X, Y, and Z. And if someone mentions a reason you don't like, feel free to start your own comment. I just don't want anyone to feel like they're being attacked, because this, at the end of the day, is a video game, and I think there are bigger issues to attack each other over. Might get attacked for that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Check out some of my other content. I have some other videos that I put up this week regarding this update, as well as I have some speed builds, and I'm going to be working on picking up on my Let's Plays again. I've kind of put them off to the side for a bit. As well as also coming up soon, I'm going to be making a video about my ideal werewolf pack. We don't have werewolves yet, but I'm hoping one day we will get werewolves in The Sims 4. And I've decided that I'm going to make a video just describing how I would like the gameplay to look, the aesthetic of it, and the world, stuff like that. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.